20, 10, retard, retard, retard.
Good evening. How are you all doing? All right. So let's see who's here. Either Miko, but as much as hope you're doing good. Mark, hello. Yoda, hello. Flying or Fly Lido, hey. And Eagle Motion, hello. Danny, Sapphire, Austrian 320. Good evening. Voyager, moin. Navigates. Lee, hello. Nice to see you as well. Yeah, Danny, glad you liked it. Yeah, it was a really cool podcast. I really enjoyed the time. Now, even though it took 2 hours, hey, Lana Lakes, how you doing? Even took 2 hours, I could have really talked on for much longer. It's just such a joy to talk to those gentlemen. So brilliant. Kazapaya, hey. Right, finally back in the FENIX. And let's see. I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're all well. Right, big topic today is, ta-da, new checklists. Now, on my Discord, I have already published 2 files. One of them is the checklist file. And it is, let me just get the PDF up here. Does that work? Yeah, so it's a new checklist format. The ones that I'm using in real as well now, so it just changed. I actually had only 1 day using that new checklist format, so I'm actually still a bit rusty, so I need to practice that as well. Hey MCK, nice to see you. How are you doing? Good Abend. So yeah, new checklist, and like I said, I'm still rusty with it, so I guess we have that common for those that want to change with me now. And so on top of that, I published, where was that now? Flows. New procedures, there we go. Also new flow patterns. So, so for each phase where we do have some flow patterns, I actually published these as well. And hopefully that will help you okay. Yeah, so Yoda, I'll have a look for the FSL users, okay? Alright, yeah. MCK, you've been very busy? Yeah, I thought you were very busy. Yeah, because we talked prior, and you said you had exams coming up, etc., etc. So yeah, I gathered that you were going to be busy. Keflavik on sale right now? Nice. Yeah, I've got the, is it MK Studios? I think so. Yeah, also, so on this stream, on this first stream, so new checklist stuff, we'll go through the procedures, and then I've also got a nice real-world video to show during flight, the clearance from Iceland for radio, or record control, and yeah, and the landing 01 in Keflavik, we'll show that in cruise flight. So let me just open some doors, get some stairs. Hey Luke, how you doing? Oh, you'll find the result in August. Next year? What? Huh? Why did it take 1 year to figure out your result? The initial feedback was very good. Nice. That's great to hear. Yeah, you had an interesting topic. So, big thank you to Eternal for making this absolutely beautiful one-engine-out delivery for us with the nice mask as well. Really lovely. Loving it. So, one engine out. Before we go any further, I fear if I log on to VATSIM now, that we are going to get Keeping fingers crossed. No one else is here. Keeping fingers crossed. Keeping fingers crossed. Keeping fingers crossed. No one here. Come on, fingers crossed. Ooh, spicy. Ooh, we might be lucky. We might be lucky. I think we are lucky. Yeah, the reason... So I chose a position without a jetway. Ah, you see? Clever, right? Because I thought anyone else wants to be at a jetway position. And I decided, at least here in the sim, there is no jetway at this position. I don't know if that is the same in real life. I haven't checked yet, so... No, Athamiko, seriously. Seriously. That was intentional. Oh, Ryanair taking off. Is it going to do it? Is it going to make it? Is it going to make it? Yeah, he is. Lovely. Cool. So, lots of stuff to talk about. Hey, Eternal, there he is. Wonderful. Eternal, thank you so much. I do think you were the one that made that beautiful livery, right? Yeah, new checklist. So yeah, so again, I'll quickly show you. I can give you some background info if you like, why things have changed in that regard, and give you some background infos on that. So, from what I gathered, it was that 5 big airlines, or at least 5 airlines that are using the A320 have gotten together and work not only to do briefing concept but also on the checklist concept. And so it was kind of a joint effort to see how these checklists can be optimized. One of them was EasyJet. Yeah, I know that one of them was my company. So, yeah, interestingly enough, you will find some differences still, even though those companies have gotten together. Hey!
Autopilot.
Brennell, oh, that reminds me. I need to start the chat bot. It'll take a few minutes, I think, to start up. But Brennell, thank you so much. Vielen Dank. 10 euros coming in with a donation right away. And Brennell, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, looking forward to the Norwegian tour later on, where on the second part of the stream tonight we'll go back into the Kodiak 100 and back onto the Norway tour. Leute, my flap lever wasn't in position there. GG. So let me just do something here. Let me just go this on. See if that works. Yeah, fantastic. That finished it. All right. So, Braille, good evening to you as well. And let me see if that works now. Applause. Yeah, we know the bot takes some time to wake up, unfortunately. We will see. Brent, once again, vielen Dank und looking forward to the flights later on. Hey, Blackbox, what are you using for model matching? I'm using the AIG one. Yeah, AIG. Yeah, so the reason why we do the ground control switch on here on the ground is because as long as the engines aren't, or as long as one engine isn't running, so both engines off, the voice recorder, here's the microphone for that, is not on. So you have to push that button to start the voice recorder while the engines are off. And that is to help investigators, if anything goes wrong, to listen to conversations prior to engine start. So when you did your preparations and your checklist and so on. So yeah, so that's a cool thing. So Brennald, today the wind is from north, 20 knots. When we landed there IRL not too long ago, we had similar winds, although we had a bit more crosswind. I think it was some 320 or something, or 330 degrees, 20 knots or something. So that was a bit different. But still, it's still northerly runway, so 01 is going to be for landing. The weather is, again, few 2600s, scatter 6.5. Yeah, pretty much what we had a couple of weeks back. Nice. Let me get started here. I've got a good database, so that is fine. Let me just go ahead and do the following. Flight init. The flight plan is calculated for departure time of 20, let's see. So I'm not using real time, obviously, because I do want to have the same kind of conditions that I had on my real world flight, because that was quite fascinating. We took off in not complete darkness, but the sun had set. So it was like kind of, you know, that kind of evening sky, but not completely dark. And then we took off, and as we approached Aberdeen and Scotland, somewhere just past there, actually the sun rose. So we had a sunrise flying westbound, pretty much middle of the night. That was such a cool experience. Hey, Pack, hello to you. Sammy, hey, how you doing? Jamie the pilot, hello to you. Nice to see you. Can we get this checklist? Emre, it's on my Discord in the announcement channel, yeah. So on my Discord in the announcement, and also on the One Engine Out website, the oneengineout.com website, you can also download this in the download section. Brandel has been so kind to upload it there. And this one is here, the procedures or the flow patterns. You can get those also on my Discord channel. That helps you with the items, etc. So new flows. Definitely helps me. Yeah, the weird thing is, obviously, I used it just for one day last week, and we had our documents open. So in the EFB, we actually had tabs open for these flows and checklists, just so that we don't miss anything. The funniest thing really was to see the wording going completely bonkers. You know, give an example, there's a different wording now for changing altimeters. So after takeoff, once you pass transition altitude, you have a different announcement. So the pilot flying would say set standard. The pilot monitoring would set the standards. So the standby instrument and his own, depending who's pilot monitoring. Then he'll check all three are standard, and then he'll say, so pilot monitoring will say, standard cross-checked, passing flight level, and he'll read off the flight level from his display. Flight level, let's say 60 now, and the pilot flying will only answer checked. So he won't say, you know, standard set flight level such as he's only going to say checked. The same as we descend through transition level, transition level into the altitude QNH setting, the pilot flying will say set QNH. Pilot monitoring will set his QNH and also the standby altimeter. And again, the pilot monitoring will check everything's set. He'll confirm that with the ATIS that he's noted down, and QNH cross-checked passing 5,000 feet now, and the pilot flying will just say checked. It's these kind of things that take ages to...
Autopilot.
Oh! Magnus!
Autopilot.
Thank you so much, Magnus. Thanks for the 55 Swedish krona. Thank you so much. I wish my bot was working. Let's see if that works now. Yeah, there we go. Magnus, big round of applause. Thank you so much for the kindness. Thank you for the donation, and greetings to Gothenburg. I tell you what, so Magnus, if you're still with us during the cruise flight, just say hello again, and once I've shown the video for the flight to Keflavik. I can actually have a look. I'm sure I've got a video going into Gothenburg. So I can have a look if I can play that afterwards. And just see videos. I got a couple. I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere. Yeah, I will try to get that that running. That'd be cool. Hey, forward, good evening. It's Christian. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you guys. Okay, so let's get things rolling here. So we've got the init done in the FMS. Let me just get everything running here, and let's get boarding going as well. So let's import the flight plan. So 21:15 on the flight plan. Oh, we've got to hurry up. It's 20:35 already. Oh no. So, my flight, import. But it's doable. We'll manage. We'll manage. I'm positive. Blame the co-pilot. Hey, Suwisa. Yes, of course, as always. Come on. There we go. So we've got 39 minutes to go. Ground services. Mass and balance. And let's load the aircraft. And we want real time. So let's see. How about the fuel? Oh, that was my viewpoint. There we go, fueling going on as well. Fantastic. Nice. Good. I'll give you a quick rundown regarding the flight plan. There we go. So, we are expecting a zero fuel weight of 56.7. Cosnex 5, we are estimating a flight time of about 2 hours. Runway 01 for landing, 24 for departure. We've got weather, Keflavik, we've just seen that. Northerly winds, clouds are all right. I didn't see any threats, so that's fine. Edinburgh 200 at 5, so it should be 24 for departure. Let me just check the ATIS information. Yeah, 24 is in use. Fantastic. Oh yeah, JD 40. I know. Oh man, yeah, I could tell you so many stories about the current situation. It is crazy. The routing. Now, this is actually the routing that I have done in the real aircraft. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go in the Grice 3 departure. We go up to Aberdeen, and then from Aberdeen we do exactly what I did in real life. And that is, we're going to go to direct, where is it? So, yeah, it's going to be direct to Devby and then to Ratsu. So that's Devby there, and that's going to be Ratsu. And this is the entry point to Reykjavik airspace, so Iceland. So the clearance that you hear later on with the real-world video, that's exactly the same clearance as we would expect today. And then we go to a point called Ratsu Aldan and Azrun, and then Azrun is going to be the Azrun arrival for runway 01. Yeah, Danny. It's for us. It was a sunrise again as we flew towards the west or northwest. It was very cool, really nice. Let's see if the runway in Keflavik is still closed, because there is one runway closure, or at least there was a runway closed. They're doing some construction work there. So let me have a look. So 1028 was closed. Let's see. So first call delivery. Oh, that's going to be ground later on. Fantastic. So Keflavik. Taxi Delta 1 is published as 15 is wide. It has been widened to 23 meters. Aircraft larger than C, blah, blah, blah. So that's not for us. Oh, yeah, there we go. So runway 1028 is closed due to construction works. So that's still ongoing until the 2nd of July, it says here. Yes, so depending, I don't know if we actually have Iceland radio on tonight, but indeed, that's the weird thing, really, since we are flying through an oceanic airspace, i.e. Reykjavik airspace. The clearance is necessary. Danny, yeah, pleasure. Danny, yeah, of course, yeah. Like I said, you know, I think very highly of Darren. He's a real world pilot, flying 787s these days. He flew a long time on the A320 series as an instructor as well. He's very knowledgeable. Yeah, so just like I wrote on my answer there, yeah. If you're wondering, the Alton airport is actually back to Edinburgh, because on Iceland, these approaches at night time are not the easiest to do. So we return, if anything goes wrong, we return back to Edinburgh. And that's why we have a pretty high takeoff fuel. So 10.6 takeoff fuel. And that's about it. That's all we need to hear. That's fine. Navigraph. Let's set up the charts. Amsterdam, no. One thing that has changed regarding our procedures is that when we come to the aircraft and it's cold and dark, the first officer does safety inspections. He'll get either APU started or get the ground power connected, so batteries on, ground power connected, etc., etc. And once that's done, we actually start the EFBs, and we would already load charts. We would do a preliminary performance calculation already, even before we touch the the MCDU to start programming stuff. That would all be done prior to that. And of course, we would check the technical status of the aircraft, have a look if there's any OEBs, so engineering bulletins that we have to follow, etc., etc., etc. It's one of those things. Why it's because some people think it's better to do it that way. Well, regarding the takeoff performance calculation, I guess, well, in rare cases you could have an issue, but otherwise, I mean, I don't see a real reason to do the performance calculation that early on. But hey, if our company wants it that way, they'll get it. I get paid for doing that stuff, so happy to follow that. Hey, Lewis Daniel, thanks so much. Lewis says, and €5 donation first of all. So Lewis, thank you so much for your support. €5, and he says, love the yesterday's podcast. Black Box Seminar is all about class, all time favorites, flight sim stream. That's really cool. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, I had a fantastic time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or what Lewis is talking about, we had a late night podcast on the Blue Games channel and XP channel on YouTube. And maybe one of my mods can link the podcast in here in the chat. Yeah, 2 hours. We discussed all kinds of topics on that. Had a really cool time with them. Very laid back, relaxed kind of chat about aviation, general flight simming. I could have talked on for another 2 hours easily, but of course, you have to end it at some point. So that was really cool. Really enjoyed that. And who knows, maybe we will get together with V1 Simulations, also a real world pilot in the US, A320 pilot. So thank you much, Mark. Thank you. Yeah, I've been up until 4 this morning, man. And I had a doctor's appointment at 7:45 this morning, man. I was not in the best mood to be poked. So let's see that. Once again, thank you so much, Lewis. Thank you, Magnus, and also Brennel. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Thank you. So, Grice 3 Charlie departure is what we filed. Always the oldest guys getting the credit. Oh, it's a tough life, isn't it? It's tough. Good. So that's all done. And if we wanted to, I guess, yeah, let's do that. Let's do it like in real world. So, so we are expecting 56.8 plus another 10.7, 10.8. So 10.8 on top of that is going to be 67.6. 67.6. Yeah, let's do that. So 67.6. Actually, it's 50. Hang on, 68.3. Okay, well, we'll take that for now. Optimum packs on. Let's see how that goes. Right, sync live weather. What? Hold on. What? Hang on. That's not the. I'm on live weather. Why is the weather so off? Is that the? Hang on. Hold on. Let me just check that. Has it changed like that? Just think the 8 is runway 24 in use. Oh yes, it is 050 at 6. Ooh. No, it's right. It's 050 at 6 on the 8s as well. That's correct. We've got 20 degrees. Correct. 998. So let me go and put this to 997. It's not going to get warmer, I think. We'll do full length. So let's have a look what we can expect. Yeah, Danny, the initial weather I had on my OFP was westerly wind or southwesterly wind, so something's changed. Right, 51 flex is fine. Yeah, we'll take that. All right, that's fine. Cool. So, while the passengers are boarding... Oh, actually, it's finished. Hang on. It's fueling finished. 10.8, yeah. Finito. Let's start the APU then. That's done. That's fine. Yeah. And the QNH was 998. Good lord. 998. Oh, it's not syncing up again. Something's changed. The problem is I messed about with the development version. Now this is the stable version again, so switch back again. Oh, where did they put this now? Config, maintenance, nope. Control config, no. Is it only EFB now? I hate when you change these things. Settings. Sim settings. Units, that's fine. So we want 2,500, 400, 300, 200, 100. That. Controls independent linked. Airframe, ESIS, don't need meters, FLS, no. Let's get rid of that. Nav and go around, yes. Automatic AC essential switching, yes. And let's go 1,000 feet there. Save as default. Cool. How's that going? Sounds good. Alrighty. So that's done. Diffrips as always. So we want to have the flight number wind note 711. Cost index was 5. Get the wind update first. Wind request. And the cruising level is going to be 360. 360. And temperature up there is today minus 49. Minus 49. 20 degrees outside temperature and tropopause 33. Yeah, 33, 34, that's fine. So initial zero fuel weight was 56.8. 56.8. Block fuel of 10.8. And the alternate fuel value is 4.2. So alternate 4.2. Put that in there. And the final time would be 1.2 tons normally. Ooh! Ouch! Didn't I take extra fuel? I did not. Because I couldn't. Oh yeah, I didn't take extra fuel because I couldn't. Yeah. But we know the FENIX takes a bit less. Although I did calculate today with minus 10%. So we're not going to have that much more. Maybe a little bit more than what we have here. We shall see. So in A page is filled out. We've got in the B page filled out. Flight plan page. 131350. Let's just actually no, hang on. Return. Let's go EFB. Let's go my flight. Let's go here and let's go ATIS. So there we go. So runway 24 still in use, all right. As long as that's the case. Ah, no, so that's still 24. We have to go by that. So we'll use that. That's fine. So departure is going to be runway 24, Rise 3 Charlie. What do you mean it doesn't work? It does. Yeah. So Grice, then we got Papa 600 to Aberdeen. There it is, and direct Devby, Ratsu, Aldan, Azrun, etc. And then for Keflavik, we'll do the Zulu ILS 01, Azrun 3 November, and the approach is via. See, that is going to be via. Hey McFly, how you doing? Ooh, that's bright. God. There we go. So let's go Keflavik. Hey Bone King, nice. Yeah, happy that you listened to it. Yeah. So I would love to have you know a direct kind of chat with the viewers and V1. Yeah, we could definitely have some cool story time. And again, you know, the situation in the US is somewhat different to what it is in Europe regarding pilot demand, pilot training, etc., etc. So I'm pretty confident that will be a fantastic, you know, ground to do a fantastic podcast. So arrival, it was the 3 November. So that's via Dexon it is then. So if you go to approach Zulu 01. Yeah, so via Dexon. There we have it. And that's it. That's the routing completed. Perfect. So data, let me just go pilot routes. Store the active flight plan. Derby Ratsu Aldan. Right, there we go. Cool. Flight plan RatNav for departure. So we expect the Grice 3 Charlie departure. So that's going to be as follows. Climb straight ahead to Uniform Whiskey NDB, turn right, intercept Tala. And that's a kind of S-curve flight. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Tala, what was it? 352, rate of 32 DMEs. Tala, then turn left, cross 33 miles between 4 and 6,000 feet, and then go Tala 347. And cross 38 between 4.5 and 6, and Grice max 6,000. So we want Tala and we want Uniform Whiskey NDB in the box. Mac says, "Hey Mac, yeah, I know you asked some questions yesterday. One thing I was a bit sad about. Yeah, we didn't really answer all the questions from chat, so." It's always quite hectic. Lots of things, questions popping up in the chat, and then yeah, I've missed some questions there. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I don't normally talk freely about that, but if I get asked, and if it's not too personal, then you can rest assured that. I'll answer honestly and truthfully, yeah. So, yeah, we talked a little bit about downsides of, the profession of an airline pilot. So that was something people were interested to hear about. Hey, Chris Lee, how you doing? Nice to see you. Good, so we've done that. I'm going to take the ADF on this side. So RatNav is set. Performance. So, do we have a final figure? No. I'm still ongoing with the loading. Hey, Andreas, Abend. Oh yeah, so for the German-speaking viewers, boarding is complete. We will be live streaming on Sunday a little bit earlier, so 1600 UTC until 1900 UTC. It'll be a German language live stream, and then 1900 open end. We'll do the English one afterwards. And lots of EasyJets coming in. Oh, there's an itinerary there as well. Look at that. Cool. Good. That is all finished. Oh, I had to reseat some passengers the other day with the 321. We only had 30 passengers. And they completely messed up loading. So just as we're getting ready to depart, I got the notification from our ramp agent that we're out of trim. So I had to get into the cabin, and we had to reseat about 8 people from the midsection all the way to the end. And of course, you always have one passenger that says like, but I paid for this window. Look, I say, trust me, at the end there's also window seats, right? And deboarding won't take that much longer either, so there's not much a disadvantage there. However, if you don't follow my instruction, nobody will depart. We'll stay here because we're out of trim. Load sheet. All right, hang on. Something's missing. What am I missing? Load sheet. So that's done. That's done. That's there. Not sure why. Oh, it's not departure time yet, that's why. Yeah, of course. It's not departure time. Good. In this case, I'm just going to wait another couple of minutes then to get the final load sheet. In the meantime, we'll use the time to get the clearance. Now, I am going to try to see. Well, it doesn't have ACARs. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they have pre-departure clearance. So it's 121,750. JD, no, we don't have that. There's just business and there's economy, and yeah, it just affected the economy class passengers. But yeah, in the 321 it can happen. Oh no, Chris Lee. Oh, you are correct. You are correct. I didn't. You see, I'm out of routine. I'm out of routine with the streaming. So let me do that. Departing. What time is it? So we're going, what, 20? Is it? So we're taking 15 minutes. So let's go at 20, so 18 UTC for the flight plan. 18 UTC. Hey Toto, no. Apparently they've stopped the spamming of messages. So as far as I can see, or as far as I know, that has been fixed. But I don't know. I haven't been. Yeah, like I haven't been flying for 10 days now on VATSIM, so I wouldn't know why or how unreliable the service is at the moment. So that's that. And we're going at, what was it, 360? Progress 360, yeah. Good. Grice. File. Good. 121750. Oh, there's the load sheet.
Holding at Alpha 12.
Delta 925, Edinburgh, good afternoon. You can taxi stand to 16 Alpha by Alpha Lima Golf.
Alpha Lima Golf to stand, is that stand 16?
16 Alpha, break, Ryanair 818. You can contact the tower 118.7. Enjoy your flights, yeah.
Contact tower 118.7. Thanks, bye. Ryanair 818.
Edinburgh ground, good evening from Windmill, Oscar Echo Oscar 711, information Golf, an A320 stand is 7, requesting clearance please.
Windmill 711, Edinburgh ground, good evening. Just confirm your arrival aerodrome.
We're flying to Keflavik, Bravo India Kilo Foxtrot.
Windmill 711, roger, thanks. You cleared to Keflavik, the Grice 3 Charlie departure, runway 24, squawk 757
Clear to Keflavik, the Grice 3 Charlie departure runway 24 and the squawk 7573, Windmill 711.
Windmill 711, correct. QNH 998.
I confirm QNH 998, Windmill 711. Good, so 7573.
Edinburgh ground, good evening. EG69 up for 1
That's a familiar voice.
Information goes to the clearance to Keflavik.
EG6941 Edinburgh.
One thing I need to check.
Evening, I'll need you on a even flight level.
Before we go,
are you able to accept
where's
240 or 260?
Initially clear, can accept 240 EG6941.
EG6941, roger, thank you very much. I've amended it for you. You cleared to
so, for the departure, transition is 6,000 and top altitude is 6,000 feet as well. So 6,000 it is in there, and here in the box what I'll do, go to the performance page and I'm going to enter 6,100 in there so that we don't have that flashing QNH scale later on. We have the final figures, so we have a zero fuel weight 56.7 and a takeoff weight of 67.2. So let's go final figures here. Weird, how come that has changed so much? Hold on. Yeah, so 67.5, that's all correct, 56.7.
so we are clear to Keflavik.
Hey, that's Arthur. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Windmill 262, correct.
Edinburgh ground, Golf Echo, Golf.
So there we go. Let's calculate those values now. Final figures. 29.4 down 0.2, flex 1 and flex 52.
Golf Echo, Golf November, cleared to Newcastle, the Colour 6 Charlie departure.
Full length. For the accelerations, we'll check.
To Echo, Golf November, Tango, Colour 6 departure, runway 24, squawk 5201.
So we've got NADP 2, and engine out is 2,100 actually. So that's 2,100. Put that in there, and then we put 1140. 1140. Hey, Bone King. San Sebastian. I've bought it, but we're unable to fly to it today. We'll see maybe Sunday. So let's see, questions coming in as well. So Fly Lilo, I really try the new fly-by-wire experimental flight model. Triangle seconds based to change in the roll. Okay. Yeah, I will test it at some point. No promises though when I find a time. And Eternal, you asked, when flying an RMP approaches in the FENIX, I get LDAF and VDAF on the PFD. How does it mean exactly? Yeah, so normally, as far as I understand, you would not have LDAF on the approach. That's a departure thing. Oh no, the other way around, isn't it? So sorry, not on the departure. You only have that in the approach. And the lateral deviation, the scaling, I would have to check again in documents. I don't know that off by heart because we don't have that function. Yeah. Yeah, so you would definitely have a max allowable lateral deviation. I guess the 0.3 nautical miles would be full scale deflection, assuming that. Yeah, and MCK, do you get that in the approach as well? Two emergencies, one Ryan diverted to Amsterdam and one came final. So yeah, they probably have issues with the thunderstorms at the moment. Yeah, there was lots of thunderstorms. Frankfurt was hit really hard today. Yeah. So okay, so approach the RMPAR approaches and departures. Okay, interesting. So 139, 146, 146, 139. 146 and 146. Cool. We are getting close to schedule, so let's do the following. Let's go ahead and do a quick briefing. And don't know if you guys remember the setup. Let me just get my iPad out. So hopefully that is not the reason why the sim crashed the last time. That would be pretty bad. Good. So here we go. The pilot monitoring goes and briefs the takeoff runway intersection, the designator, first gate altitude, the MSA or the MORA, and the extra fuel and time. So the pilot monitoring, in this case our first officer, he would say, right, so you have planned for runway 24 full length departure, Grice 3 Charlie, First cleared altitude is 6,000 feet. The MSA in our departure route is 3,400 feet. And extra fuel time at the moment, let's just get the final figures in here, is pretty much no extra fuel. Which is brave, I would say. 56.7. And we've got 29.5. 29.5 down 0.2. That adds up. Fantastic. Good. Right, then the pilot flying will brief hotspots for taxi out, for example. If there are any, of course. Let's check the chart here. So we got a hotspot here indicating on taxiway Alpha between Charlie 1 and Papa 1 there. It says description 10-9 Alpha. Okay, I'll check that in a minute. Hang on. Let me go. Was it 10-9 Alpha? Ground charts 10-9 Alpha. 10-9. There we go. So, hotspot 1, misroute hotspot. Multiple taxiway intersections in close proximity. Pilots to be aware of potential misroute. All right. So that's what the hotspot says. Taxi out is as follows. We'll be pushing back, and we expect either the Echo or Foxtrot, and then Alpha, and holding point is going to be Delta 1, most likely. Engine out SID is straight ahead, 241 degrees to 25 miles to hold, and we can as always enter that here. So, Echo Golf, Papa Hotel, 24.
Yeah, sorry.
241.
On the flight plan.
And we can do that 25 miles.
Sorry about that. Yeah, maybe we can accept 150.
Engine acceleration is in 2,100 feet. And once we have the engine secured, cleaned up, we'll climb 3,000, get radar vectors, declare emergency obviously, and return for a landing runway. Well, maybe we'll ask for 06 in case of emergency, because then we'll have some headwind, helps with the landing performance. It'll be an overweight landing at round about 66.8, I would say. So definitely have to do overweight landing procedure. Landing distance should be no factor though. Non-standard operations, no, everything's running, everything's working. So nothing with non-standard. Right, threats, guys, that's your turn. What are threats? Why I'll go through the rest of the items here. What are threats today? Chat.
Airline 245 Edinburgh. Evening cleared to Sunday. The Grice 3 Charlie departure runway 24.
Yeah, so seriously, I mean, there's not really high terrain around. The weather is fine. Yeah, no extra fuel. And I tell you what, we actually briefed when we used for the first time these procedures. Actually, new procedures that can be a threat. So how would we mitigate those threats regarding new procedures? How would you do that? Stay alert. Yeah, well, I briefed just take things a bit slower. Yeah, be very conscious about the procedures.
FedEx 214, we're ready for push and start.
And just go a bit slower.
211, you're pushing start of approved.
So regarding the before start flows, you have certain trigger points. So for us, for example, will be the pushback and startup clearance received. That will be our trigger for the before start flows. So let's get the clearance for that. Edinburgh ground, the windmill 7, we're on stand 7, QNH 998, request push and start please.
Windmill 711, stand 7, push and start approved, face east.
Push and start approved, face east, windmill 711. Where's that button? There it is. So, we go beacon switch on, windows, doors, check closed, 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 closed. Door slice, check closed armed, checked, thrust levers, check idle, idle, and park brake handle is on. The Seam 2 does ATC transponder, so you make sure that is on. 7573. Windows check closed on his side, and doors slides armed, he'll checks as well. And then we'll check. Hey Kipman, nice to hear you. Oh, we forgot the cockpit preparation checklist we need to do first. So gear pins covers removed, fuel quantity 10,750 kilograms, seat belts on, ADIRS, nav, and barrel ref QNH 998. And then we get to the before start checklist. Parking brake is set. Takeoff speed thrust. We've got 139, 146. Oh, actually, hang on. We say V1, 139, VR, 146, V2, 146, Flex 52. The pilot monitoring just says, well, the same thing, really. He reads out the MCU values as well. Then we go windows closed. Both say closed. Beacon is on, and that's the before start checklist completed. So we're going to do the pushback with our app here. I couldn't get a connection on my iPad, strangely enough. So, what's that? Why is no tug available? Are you kidding me? What?
Flying 245, just caution the
so facing
airline
east.
A320 pushing to
It's
your right
this
over
way.
London.
Rock 4665.
Good. There is no more call engine start anymore, so the captain just does the start switch into ignition start. Fuel pumps are on. To start. Right, that will have to do. Engine 1 start.
Golf Echo Golf November. I'm really sorry about that. I was halfway through starting up my engines and everything really just shut down. I don't know if it was a glitch in the game or if it was something with my internet or something. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna have to do that all again.
Golf Echo, Golf November, no need, your clearance is still valid. Just walk
The
fast.
same goes for the after start flows. We don't announce it anymore. And they are just initialized by the
Golf
commander
Echo, Golf November, it is still ready. Pushing start is
by putting that start switch back to normal.
Start approved.
So the engine mode selector back to normal. That's the signal for the first officer to do his flows. And now things have changed. So for me as a captain, I'll do everything on the overhead panel.
Departure I was cleared for. It's come off my flight plan. I need to put it back in.
And
I've got it written down, sorry.
do that, and the rest has been done by the first officer. Is that correct regarding? Oh yeah, the CG. There we go. So the CG was wrong. Let me just check that again. That's AUC menu, received messages, load sheet. So
FedEx 214, taxi
hang on.
Delta 1, runway
26.9 takeoff CG. Yeah, that's fine. So, oh, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Ah, 29.5. 26. Yeah, that's something. That's weird. What happened there?
Runway
20.6, 20. That says the same.
Holding point Alpha 16 via Echo Alpha.
So that's what he meant, MCK, right? 26.9.
And Sherlock 466, you can also taxi holding point Alpha 16 via Echo Alpha.
Up 0.4. There we go. So up 0.4 it is. There it is. Good.
Sherlock 466, just confirm it's holding point Alpha 16 via
And
Echo.
the flight control check. Up, down, neutral, left, right, neutral, rudder left, right, neutral. That was down. That's set. That's set. That's said. Good. After start checklist. Anti-eyes
Station calling to
off.
confirm you want
Ecam
to
status
ground,
checked. Pitch trim is 26.8% and the rudder trim neutral. After start checklist completed.
Whiskey 2020, continue on Unicom 122, that's right.
Unicom 120, of Whiskey 2020.
Windmill 711 request taxi.
Windmill 711, taxi on a point Foxtrot 1 via Foxtrot for now.
Foxtrot Alpha holding point Foxtrot 1 for the Windmill 711. Good. Let's go. Clear left side. Oh, nice. Lovely.
Windmill 584 after the passing A320.
Brake check.
Your right
Brakes
to left,
working.
And 10, push and start approved. East.
Yeah, so Foxtrot 1 is the holding point right up here. And the reason why we have to stop there was because of that traffic.
Windmill 262 requesting pushback at the start.
Yeah, that should be Foxtrot 1.
Windmill 262, just hold position for now as company aircraft pushing to your left.
Holding position.
Ooh, lots of traffic there. Look at that. Yeah, there's Foxtrot 1. Yeah, intermediate holding position, A firm.
All stations, Edinburgh Information Hotel, current.
Right, let's check hotel. QNH is 998, temperature 18, and the wind is...
Easy 6.541, request push to start.
EG 6941, just hold position.
Lovely,
for
that
now.
FedEx up there. Cool. How cool is that?
Position easy 6.541.
Airlines 245, you can continue taxi holding point Delta 1.
Hey Stepke, wie exciting. My flight. Let's reload the ATIS. Hotel.
466, continue taxi holding point Delta 1 via Alpha.
Continue taxi.
There we go, 070 at 6.
Yeah, 6.
Windmill 711, you can continue taxi holding point Delta 1, runway 24 via Foxtrot and Alpha.
Foxtrot Alpha holding point Delta 1, runway 24, windmill 711. That is bright. God. So we may have just a little bit more tailwind to deal with. Man, it's going to be so interesting if we actually see the sun rising again. Right. So the reason why I'm checking is if anything larger has changed. And the reason for that is we actually have a new checklist point. It's called a departure change checklist. So whenever the runway or the SID changes, the flap setting changes, the takeoff speeds, and the thrust changes, or the cleared altitude changes, we have to do that departure change checklist. But we'll leave it as is, so no major changes, that's fine.
245, you can contact the tower 118.7 during flights, yeah.
So now we're doing the taxi flow.
466, you can contact the tower 118.7.
And for me, for the captain, I only have one thing to do: to rain on nav display. And the first officer has to do a lot more. So first officer has to go get the auto brake max push button on, terrain on nav display on, squawk confirm set, engine mode selector as required. Right now we'll leave it at normal. Radar predictor wind shear system on. Well, that doesn't work here yet. And takeoff config test push button test. We've done that, and we check that takeoff memo is no blue, which we have as well. So now we can read that taxi checklist, flight control checked, both say checked, flap setting config 1+F, radar predictor wind shear system on, auto normally, engine mode selector normal, and ECAM memo takeoff no blue. And that's a taxi checklist completed. There is no more down.
This is a push button aircraft.
Oui, oui. So there is no more below the line and you know down to the line. 18.7. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening, Windmill 711. So yeah, no more below the line, etc., etc., which is a big change.
Airline 245, Delta 1, land at runway 24.
Brennell, do you know, is there any chance for me to modify the checklist in the FENIX EFB? As far as I know, I'm not sure. At least I've not done that. Maybe MCK knows that. What items are on the... Yeah, so Brennell, just like I mentioned, I can show you the checklist here. So it says departure change checklist. Those are the items that are on there. Edinburgh Tower, good evening from Windmill 711. We'll be holding short Delta 1, runway 24, ready for departure.
Windmill 711, Edinburgh Tower, good evening, roger, hold Delta 1.
Hold Delta 1, Windmill 711. So again, we check the holding point, Delta 1, that's there. Hey Ralph, wie geht's? Nice to see you. Skip the line, yeah. I know, it's so weird. I've been using that for 10 years. And so that has gone now. So the next checklist that we're going to read is the lineup checklist. So that's the new thing. And so that is being done as we line up, obviously. And the lineup flows are as follows. So the CM1 checks takeoff runway, checks the approach path, and switches on the exterior lights as necessary. The CM2 does the TCAS mode selector, TAR array, checks the runway, approach path, packs 1 and 2 as required, and alerts the cabin crew. And once that's completed, then we'll do the checklist.
Shamrock 466 by Delta 1, line up runway 24.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yep, absolutely, yeah. Anybody wants to fly along later on, we'll be on the open server, so Europe West server. Feel free to join. Little group flight. Alright, so he's lining up. We can taxi forward a bit. Quick recap of the procedures. Drive 3 Charlie as briefed. We're going up 6,000 feet according to the limitations. Yeah, no jets, please. Yeah, Reynold, you're correct. Good point. Hey, MAN, wie geht's? How was your week? It's Friday, isn't it? Thank God. Thank God it's Friday. So let's have a look here. So, go forward to Uniform Whiskey NDV. Once we pass that beacon, we'll turn right, intercept the 352, 32 miles Thaler. So that's going to be between 4 and 6.
Shamrock 466, 770 degrees, 6 knots, runway 24.
Let's see. Right before. Yeah, max 6,000. And then we go to Grice. So we've got hold short Delta 1.
Edinburgh ground, good afternoon, windmill 584, hold 424.
Windmill 584, Edinburgh Tower, good evening, roger, hold Delta 1.
Right, let's make it nice and cozy so that our eyes get adapted to the lighting here.
Windmill 584, hold Delta 1.
Okay, from info windmill 584.
Hold Delta 1.
Hold Delta 1, windmill 584.
Edinburgh Tower, good evening, it is 6941, stand 8, request push stop.
Standby, break, windmill 711 by Delta 1, line up runway 24.
By Delta 1, line up wait runway 24, windmill 711.
Shamrock 466,
good, so approach sector is clear.
466, which Helicom
and we'll do the FO items as well, of course. Alerted the cabin crew. Packs remain on engines. So, lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 24, full length, TCAS, TARA, and packs 1 and 2 on. We don't say on engine anymore, we just say on. So it's either on, off, or supplied by APU. Oh, you are, Danny? Fantastic. Yeah.
Edinburgh Tower, good evening.
MCK, they are, but
information India,
not completely.
A320. Request back clearance to Frankfurt, please.
Lufthansa 2222, Edinburgh Tower, good evening. Stand by. Windmill 711, surface wind 070 degrees 6 knots, runway 24, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 24, clear takeoff, windmill 711. Good. Brakes are off. Chrono. Can't find that button. Right, let's go. Takeoff. Can't find a button. Alright, can't find a click spot. Let's go. Takeoff. Manflex 52 SRS runway. Order thrust blue. Thrust set. $100 knots.
Windmill 584 by Delta 1, stand up runway 24.
Be on. Rotate.
Lufthansa 222, cleared Frankfurt.
Pause the climb.
Haller 6 Delta departure,
Gear
runway
up.
06, squawk 6476.
Can I
Oh,
repeat for Lufthansa 777, please?
Lufthansa 222, cleared Frankfurt, Haller 6 Delta, squawk 6476.
Weekly Frankfurt war die Teller 6 Delta departure up from route 25, Mr. Climb by Cylinder.
thrust climb, climb, out blue, auto thrust.
Lufthansa 222, read back correct, brake, windmill 711, November ATC, Quantity Unicom, 122 decimal 8,
1 to 2 decimal. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening. Bye bye. Windmill 711.
Thank you, bye-bye.
There we go. Fantastic.
Tower.
Oop. Flap 0. Speed is checked. Flaps 0. Just wait for that needle to turn. There it is. And overhead uniform whiskey. Turning right. Uh, 17 degrees, there's no need alt star initially, so level off. It's just easy for us. Autopilot 1. Yeah, so we're going to proceed according to the flight plan. Good. There is a procedure flow for after takeoff. And it's called the acceleration flow pattern. So the pilot monitoring does flap 0 select, landing gear disarm, ground spoilers disarm, landing gear up, and exterior lights set. So pretty much what we did all the time. So flap 0, spoilers disarmed, landing gear is up, and lights accordingly. So we'll switch off the turn off and the nose gear lights. The landing lights remain on. And there is no after takeoff checklist. That's the important thing. Next you have the climb passing 10,000 feet above airport level flow pattern. Which is as follows. So pilot flying does the EFIS, pilot monitoring does landing lights, seatbelts, EFIS, ECA memo, and nav 8 secondary flight plan, and the optimal flight level check. So we're now intercepting just quickly 352 radial until we pass 33 miles Tala. Currently at 32 miles. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? LOL. GG FENIX. Nice one. I got another thing to report. No, it's there's no departure controller. It's Unicom. Alright, I'm just making it a bit easier now. Going direct to Grice. Insert. What are you doing? There we go. Autopilot 1 at 6,000. Have you ever experienced bigger bugs in real life? Well, I have seen some weird drawings on the nav display in the real Airbus as well from time to time, but those were kind of resolved very quickly by the computers. So yeah, you do have glitches sometimes, rarely though, but I've never really had the issue that the aircraft actually turned the wrong way. I've never had that, no. Good, so at 6,000 past Grice, we can finally go and climb up to our planned level, which was 360. Yeah, that's fine. Oops. Out constraint, climb blue. So once we pass that point, it automatically considers a climb, which is fine. And then we're on our way. Just check the VATSIM map. There we go. So now once we pass 6,100, there we go, that starts flashing. We do that altimeter setting. And so the call out would be set standard. Pilot monitor says standard cross-checked, passing flight level 75. And the pilot flying says checked.
Autopilot.
Hey!
Autopilot.
B7 coming in. Guess the currency. Oh my god. I will have to check that. CLP. What is that? Big shout out to Agent B7. Agent, are you streaming at the moment or? Big shout out to Agent B7. Make sure to check out the channel. Although, like I said, I don't know if she's streaming at the moment. Right, 10,000 foot. So remember the climb flow. So I'll just set my EFIS options as required. I'll put airports in here. And the pilot monitoring does the rest. So starting from the top here, lights off, seatbelts. Yeah, let's get the seatbelts off. EFIS options as is, and then pilot monitoring does the normal stuff in the MCDU, clear out the RATNAV, secondary flight plan, copy active, and fix info clear as well. There we go. And optimum flight level 350 at the moment. Yeah, we'll go 360. And look at that. The sun has set. So let's see. Let's see if we get a sunrise as we climb up, fly towards Keflavik. Oh, that is Chile Peso. Or is it Corsican? What? Hang on. Yeah, yeah, the flight sims are amazing. Yeah, I agree. They've come such a far way. Now I know that Toto has published a update for the Challenger, and I will be flying the Challenger, I think, on Sunday, because there's a new XP Eagle County scenery out, so we may check that out in the US. So it is Chile. Okay, nice, Agent. Nice. So you're in Chile right now. And then you're staying in Argentina for a while. Lovely. Oh, man. Food. Wine. Lovely. Nice. Then you're at the same time and you have sunrise again. Lovely. Good. Yeah, we have a good comparison then from my real-world flight. Beautiful. So again, there is no checklist after departure. The next checklist that we have is the approach checklist, and that will be read as we pass 10,000 feet above the airport elevation in the descent, assuming of course the barrel refs have been set, so QNH has been set, and then we go through the approach checklist. Really? Carmen San Diego? I need to Google that. Who's she? So, Agent, have you been giving out autograms now? Autographs. Yeah, I remember in the US, I got sometimes asked if I was one of those famous baseball players. Now, I've never watched baseball, so I would not know. But apparently I look a lot like not only David Hasselhoff, but also one of the famous baseball players there. Hey, Captain Azores, how you doing? Yeah, let me see. Let me see if I can find that file, because I know I've shown the approach not too long ago, actually. I just need to find the file. The only thing I'm worried about is actually connecting the hard drive now, because we know that yeah, USB issues can kill Microsoft Flight Sim. So let me see. Hey Brandon, how you doing? There's also a recent Netflix series. Okay, nice. Yeah, and look, guys, this is the weird thing. It's almost midnight, German time. And like I said, that is pretty much the time, maybe a little bit earlier, when I flew to Keflavik about 2 weeks back. But it was literally like this, where it just didn't get completely dark. So the whole night flight that we did not have complete darkness. So this was like the darkest kind of colors we got. Brandon, how are you doing? Oh yeah, the bot. Hang on, let me just restart the bot here. For some reason it decided to quit. Let's restart that. It stays like that for no. So I can show you the video what happened in real life in a minute. Let's see. Just to make sure that we don't have control. No, we don't. Yeah, so Shanwick area will be open, but Iceland isn't. Okay, so we're not going to bust anything. Cool. So normally about 20 minutes prior to entering the... Well, actually 20 minutes prior to the waypoint... Where is it? DevB, we would call in to get our clearance. And you'll hear that in the video. You actually hear an actual video, audio playback of our clearance that we got from Iceland Radio. So we're heading to Aberdeen right now. I guess that's it. That's Aberdeen down here. Bone King, I don't... good question. I don't know. A380 from Fiber Wire Devs, I don't know. No, MCK, no, we don't. No. No. Yeah, so we don't have fans 1, so we can't do the CPTC logon with the Oceanics. So it's still voice. Everything's voice, the clearance is voice. The good thing is, though, they have radar coverage on our way to Iceland. So, yeah, the A310 maybe as well. So we didn't have to do position reports simply because they had us under radar contact. Haven't stopped in a while. I'm always halfway through the people at ground school. Nice. Wednesday we start metrology, and man, it's intense. Well, metrology, yeah, I found part of metrology interesting, but not all of it. So, yeah, there's things that I found really interesting, and then are you allowed to change the cost index by your own? Yes, Brennell, we are. We're not supposed to, but see it this way, Brennell. So in our EFB, we actually have a very, very sophisticated and apparently very expensive flight optimizer tool. So the EFB is in direct connection with the flight manager guidance computer, so it gets the data from the FMS, and it gets updated weather data, and it will calculate an optimum flight level continuously. And so you can actually do different scenarios in the EFB. So you could, for example, say, hey, what happens, or what's your optimum cost index if I want to fly, let's say, in level 340 because there is reported turbulence at level 360. And so we can optimize our cost index for that different flight level, and then we would use that cost index in the MCDU. So yes, we can, and we do change the cost index from time to time. Hey Harry, how are you doing? Hope you're well. So Gothenburg. I'm just going to have a look at that other. See if it's on there. You know, trick to put the RT. I never mess about with the RTA. So yeah, I mean the first officers, they know all the tricks. So the RTA at destination to the current time, and it flies fast without changing the cost index. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Well, I wouldn't be worried about that being reported. So look how it's getting brighter already as we climb up in altitude and fly towards the west. So we're racing the sun now, westbound. And I do wonder if we have a sunrise in a couple of, let's say, 30 to 60 minutes. Sorry, so do you know why my A320 doesn't fly 250 knots under 10,000 feet? Instead, it's 230 knots. Okay, so I guess you're referring to that descent bracket in managed speed. Yeah, that's at the moment a issue with FENIX and the descent performance calculations, which are not optimized yet. So they're working on their own engine model, and so hopefully at some point that will get more accurate. So what it will do normally, if it's below the optimum path, it will raise the nose and let the speed drop to the lower bracket. So it's about 230 knots, and then once it reaches that, it'll add thrust and maintain that until it's on the optimum path again. If the CI report, yes. So Brennelt, what we do after the flight, when we send out our flight log to the company with all the time, so off blocks, takeoff time, touchdown time, on blocks time, there is another prompt where, for example, we would report in regarding delay code. So you know, if there's anything that we want to add, explain what caused delays, and it also says cost index flown. So we have to enter that. The first officer will do that. He'll enter the actual flown cost index. We do that. Have I ever been contacted by my company and been asked why I didn't fly the standard cost index? No, never ever. It's statistics. That's all it is. Hey Adrian, how are you doing? Can you suppose this? If you already explained this, have the new checklist been applied to all A3? Yes. Well, no, I'm not sure about all airlines, Adrian. I know that our airline, 2,000 feet ago, our airline was fairly late, but I have no overview which airlines are still using old checklists. But yeah, so for us, it has finally changed. Yeah. Oh, sorry, hit the button again. Oh yeah, and I had an interesting real-world issue, technical issue, guys. So we took off with a heavy A321. Man, the problem is it's not optimized. Yeah, I can't show the... Hang on, I'm sure I had that rendered. I am so sure. Yeah, but again, I don't know which ones don't. Good, so what we had, just after liftoff, we got master caution, brakes hot. It was literally the moment I said gear up, the first officer put his hand on the gear lever, and we got bing, brakes hot. And he reacted really quickly. He actually let the gear down. And then we had a look at the issue. And number 4 brake was at kind of going very quickly between 350 degrees and back to 250 degrees. So it's like within like 1 or 2 seconds, it was going up and down, and so we had to start a discussion if that is going to be a false warning or if we take that as serious. And so we just waited, and you would normally expect the cooling airflow to cool the brakes as the landing gear is still out after liftoff. So that didn't happen. So while the other brakes cooled down, number 4 brake actually continued with that ludicrous quickly, 250, 270, 250, 290, 270, 310. Yeah, so we had a quick discussion about this troubleshooting, and we both agreed that it will be a indicator error, which happens quite, I would say often, but I've seen it regularly happen. So yeah, so we retracted, and the temperatures actually stayed below 300 degrees, so the message didn't appear again anyways during the flight. But we contacted our company, did some troubleshooting. Yeah, in the end, as we lowered the landing gear for landing, that sensor completely quit. So it was a sensor issue. But let's say the temperatures had been 500 degrees and stayed there, right? I would have taken that as a more serious issue then. Maybe one of the brakes was, wasn't releasing properly, and is actually, glowing hot. And so you don't want to retract the landing gear doing that. Yeah, erratic brake temperature sensor. Yeah, exactly. Good. Right, guys, with level 360, I'll play you that video. And so we'll play the video with the crossing clearance and also with the landing 01 in Keflavik. Although, is there any more questions? Let's just check. Could you please explain about the special clouds sent me? Oh, okay. Yeah, Brennell, I'll do that after the video. I will upload one of those pictures or 2 pictures that I have on Discord, and we'll have a look at that. All right? Cool. Here comes the video.
Destination Keflavik Airport. Bravo intake kilo Foxtrot. Guideline speed. Rapsu, Alta, and Asrun, 3 November. From destination Patrol 380, 1.78. Check route amendment, as per radio. First, fire the waypoints. Destiny, Rapsu, Alta, then Asrun, 3 November arrival, flight of 380, Mach 0.7. From confirm that from destination Patrol 380, Mach 0.78. From destination 380.7. Clear respect is correct. Change pattern phone and have a good night. Nice to meet you.
2,500. $1,000.
So look at that. So we actually have the sun setting here. Oh, it's actually sun rising now. So just like in the real aircraft, just dial down the sim sounds a bit. So just like in the real aircraft, we are flying towards the northwest, and the sun is actually rising. Ian, what do you exactly mean with why show this live when you haven't got it set to UTC? I'm not sure what you mean. So in the video, we landed. Let me just get the block times. So I'll tell you exactly what time we landed in Keflavik in that video. So we landed there exactly at 23:53 UTC. That's when we landed there, 23:53. We will land in, well, there we go. We will land here in the sim 23:35. So not exactly the same time as in the real world, but fairly close to it. And what fascinates me, yeah, just like in the real flight, we actually have the sun rising. Absolutely incredible. So there was another interesting thing we had, or I saw on a flight, and I'll show you what Brennell was referring to. So have you heard about noctilucent clouds?
Welcome aboard the Captain
Hey!
Black Box YouTube channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make their way to the first class cabin,
Oh, that's really
where
kind.
complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served.
Scotty
Thank
Jahadi,
you.
it's really nice to see you. Thank you for your continued support. You've been supporting me on Twitch for a long, long time, and now here on YouTube as well. 5 months in a row now. Scotty, I hope you're doing well. Greetings. I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. Thank you so much. Yeah, so noctilucent clouds is a phenomenon I've seen maybe 3 times in my complete career. And I'll show you what it's all about. So it's this. So you have the sun below the horizon, and you have a reflection of clouds way, way, way above you. So we're flying at 30, I think it was 39,000 feet or something, and these clouds are actually up to 200,000 feet. 200,000 feet. And I've actually got a little video as well. I'm just So, so these clouds are actually still being kind of investigated, if you want to call that. So scientists are still not 100% sure how these are actually formed, these clouds. So what they do or have found up to now is that these clouds are in the mesosphere, and they're only seen at latitudes between 45 and 80 degrees north, so only in the northern hemisphere. And the equivalent latitudes in the southern hemisphere, disregard, so also in the southern hemisphere, but at these latitudes. But they are seen less often in the southern hemisphere, as there is very little land and very few people are obviously living there. So only in the southern tip of Argentina and Chile you would actually find those clouds. Now, like many clouds, noctilucent clouds need water, vapor, and dust, and very low temperatures to form. Low temperatures are easily attainable in the mesosphere, but water vapor and dust are in short supply. The dust may well come from tiny meteors from space, although dust from volcanoes or man-made pollutants may add to these. Scientists believe that the moisture comes through gaps in the tropopause, or perhaps forms from the chemical reaction of methane and other chemicals. So again, yeah, it's still not 100% you know, sure what causes those. But I can tell you that if you see that in real life, it is fascinating. It is really, really beautiful. Chemtrails, no. No, they're not. Good, so what we'll do now is the following. We're going to show you something. So, as always, we want to find out an equi-time point. So have a strategy on when to continue or when to return back. So I would say we'll take Aberdeen as one of the airports. Echo Golf Delta Papa. So we're going to go to data, data, equi-time point, Echo Golf Papa Delta for Aberdeen. Put that in there, and Keflavik on the other side. Although, I mean, yeah, let's leave that at Keflavik. We're not going to divert anywhere else. So, what we'll enter now is the average wind. So we got a strange wind today. How long is the flight? We're flying another. So altogether it was 2 hours. We've already covered almost 1 hour. So it's an hour 15 minutes to landing. No, so Vagar, actually Brennald, for us, Vagar is not a valid alternate airport. We're not allowed to land at Vagar. And on that day, Brennald, they had overcast 200 and 1,000 meter visibility. So that airport definitely was not a candidate for an alternate or an emergency landing. So let me get the wind data. So we've got 165 at, let's say, 25. It doesn't have to be too accurate, that's fine. And at Keflavik, we're going to have about 190 at 20. So now it's going to recalculate the equi-time point. So it says the ETP location is 253 miles prior to Aldan. So if I go, for example, well, you can't. Oh yeah, here, there it is. So here's the equi-time point, and there's Vagar. So let me do this, and let's go and draw in some fancy circles. So that's Aberdeen. Was it 255 or something? What's the maximum? I can't remember that. Saved my life. 256, 270. No. Okay, so somewhere in that region, that's the maximum radius you can put in here. Bruno knows that, and I think MCK probably will as well. So Keflavik will do the same. 256 in there. So let me just get rid of that. Is it really 256? Lol. If that series is correct, then hats off to my elephant memory. Now we got cloud cover, so the sun is just below the clouds here. Absolutely beautiful. Cool. So that means since we have a bit of tailwind going westbound, if we return, we have a bit of headwind going back. However, the equi-time point between those two airports, and we see the circle from Aberdeen here, and we see the 256 circle from Keflavik here. So that's our equi-time point. That's one thing. Another thing is, normally when you get your clearance, you are told to maintain a certain Mach number. So what you can do is go on the right hand side, go constant Mach. So we can select the Mach number. Let's say we've got the clearance to maintain Mach 0.77 from Ratsu all the way to our top descent most likely. So let's select those two. So what will happen now, as we get to Ratsu in managed mode, the aircraft will maintain Mach 0.77 exactly. So it won't change if the wind changes. So that's something to do as well in the MCDU. Well, Brennald, let's put it this way, Reynolds. If the aircraft is on fire, so if there's smoke in the cabin, and you don't have another option, so you have to go and land, otherwise die. Well, of course, you're going to try to land on Vagar. Yeah, sure. Right, emergency authority, it's called. Would you do that for a sick passenger? We've had that discussion before. So let's have a look weather-wise. Let's go and get some data here. So would you risk the lives, 155, or let's say 150, just to save one life? I mean, you're the commander. You're going to have to make that call. But again, you're going to have to weigh your options with the risks. Vagar. There we go. Let's go meet. Yes. Send. Then we do Echo Golf Papa Delta as well. Oh. Let's receive messages. There we go. So Vagar right now is actually not that bad. 340 at 7, overcast 2,900, 13 degrees. Yeah. So today the weather would be alright to do an emergency landing there. Oh yeah, absolutely. So, before even... Well, I mean, if you're on fire, I would say, yeah, GG if you manage to calculate quickly the landing distance required at 64.5 tons. You're kidding. Oh, we have Bird. Yeah, you're right. 19.7. Thank you much, Kidman. Yeah, thank you. Wow. So it's 19.7.
Mark, for airborne, give me one moment.
Reykjavik Control, a very good evening from Windmill, Oscar Echo Oscar 711. Thanks,
Windmill 711, Reykjavik Control, good day. Squawk 4124, and what is your Mach cruise speed, please?
Squawk 4124 and Mach 0.77, level 360.
Roger.
Oh, look how the sun is just below the horizon there. Fantastic.
Windmill 711, many thanks. You're now identified radar control service. Let me know when you're ready for oceanic clearance.
Okay, yeah, ready to copy clearance. Windmill 711.
Windmill 711, roger. Your clearance is to Keflavik, routing Ratsu, Alden, Azran, flight level 360, Mach 0.77.
Windmill 711 is cleared to Keflavik via Ratsu, Aldan, Azrun, maintainable 360, Mach 0.77. Windmill 711.
Windmill 711, read back correct.
So there we go. So Ratsu, just check the Aldan, Azrun, level 360, and Mach 0.77.
Walker 1931, roger, standby, brake, stupid 80 kilo alpha, push and start approved, QNH 1017. Yeah, I'm going to cross couple it.
Yeah, Brenold, the one other issue we have at my company, Brenold, we don't have approach charts for Vagar. So I checked in our EFB, we don't have them.
Walker 1931, your clearance is to Bergen, runway 30 on the Odeva.
So I don't have any information on minimums, I don't have information
Odeva, Valdi,
regarding procedures.
Flight level 290.
So that also makes it very difficult.
79er, squawk 3241.
So we are cleared, runway 30, Odeva 2
departure via Odessa, Baldy, 290, squawk 3241.
Yeah, Brennan, that's one of those. It's one of those things.
1931 ready, back is correct. Startup approved.
That's what the captain has. Then difficult decision to make, right? It is difficult, but that's just the way it is.
Regain control, good afternoon, within 584, flight level 340.
Windmill 584, rate of the control, good day, squawk 4137, report your Mach speed, please.
Squawk 4137, Mach decimal 76, within 584.
Nice, I've got salad here. Just gonna eat some salad. So it's a bit frustrating because I know that
Windmill 584, many thanks. Your identified radar control
that I've
service
had
report ready for oceanic clearance.
that video rendered, but I just can't find it. Gothenburg.
Windmill 584, your clearance is to Keflavik, oceanic routing Ratsu, Alden, Azran, flight level 340, Mach decimal 76.
I'm going to search all the hard drives now. But if I don't find it today, Lewis, if I don't find it today, I'm going to have to do the next stream.
Windmill 584, read back correct.
Mark, so as with the oceanic clearance, always follow your flight plan route. No, not always that, but so Mark, what happens is you file a flight plan. ATC will have your flight plan as a request. If they can comply with your request, you'll get the clearance as you filed. If not, they will say,
I said to 8 Tango,
have a re-clearance.
control, very good day to you. Just confirm your Mach number,
Just to
please.
tell you that you're going to have a little bit different clearance for the crossing than you've anticipated or filed. Alright, let's try that again. Yeah, exactly. So in the end, Mark, so the clearance that you get
I said to 8 Tango, then have you got my last
is what you're going to have to fly. So you check the given clearance with your flight plan route here. And again, make sure that you fly the correct speed, Mach 0.77. At the moment, we're still not at Ratsu, just reaching Ratsu now. So we're entering.
With 80 Kilo Alpha, taxi to Hong Point runway 01, left onto November, right Echo, cleared to cross runway 28, report ready for departure at the hold.
Literally discussed this exact scenario in stream. Passenger had a heart attack and you asked us where you would divert. We went on Google Maps and looked for hospital close to each airport. Nice, yeah, exactly, Danny. So, these are the things obviously you would hopefully have cleared up prior to make a decision. But yeah, let me just check if we can actually get some data here in the EFB. Let me just check Ratsu here real quick. So Ratsu, 1 hour, 1 minute after departure. And so we departed at 21:34. So 21:34.
I said to 8 Tango, many thanks for your clearances to Manchester,
21
runway 01 on the Oscom 3 Alpha departure. After Oscom, routing Ratsu. Climb via the SID to flight level 2,
we are 3 minutes
0, Mach
late,
decimal 79,
and we're supposed to have 6.7 tons, and we got 7.7, so we got a ton more than required. So we're good on fuel, good on time.
Manchester,
Oh yeah, and Mark just let me know that 40 years ago today, is it marks the 40th anniversary of that British Airways flight 009.
Confirm after Oscar.
So the 747 over Indonesia that suffered a quadruple engine failure. So they lost all 4 engines.
I said to a tanker, correct.
Wow, look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's just amazing. That is incredible. Eurox, so up here, obviously, aircraft fly Mach number because that resembles more accurately the aerodynamic behavior of the aircraft. Not so much the indicated airspeed because the air is very thin up here. So the reference now is the Mach number. And you're given a specific Mach number to maintain. And that is in order to have the aircraft separated correctly and keep that separation.
Windmill 584, that's not a problem, report back.
Fly Lila, that's a good question. I don't know why, or
Easy 6941,
if
just
they
confirm, your
do
Mach
that.
cruise number again, please.
Mach decimal 80, Easy 6941.
No, Brennel, so the reason why the sun is rising is because you're very high up to the north. And so if it were at the equator, you could not reach the sun. So you could raise the sun around the equator, you would not reach it. However, this far up north,
Easy 6941,
the
many
path
thanks
of
for
the
that.
sun,
Your identified radar
since it's
control
so far
service,
north at the moment,
when you're ready for
is from a distance standpoint of view a lot shorter. So here, when you fly so far north,
Alden,
you have
Asran, flight level 3,
the chance to catch the sun again. And again, it happens rarely. It really happens only when the sun is that far north. Or you have an aircraft that's really fast.
6941,
like
read back
Concorde.
correct route direct to Ratsu.
Direct cut to Easy 6941.
Have you ever seen the aurora lights? Oh yes, lots of times. So when you fly long range to the US and back again, you will definitely see aurora lights. Literally, I wouldn't say every flight, but at least 50% of the flights. You'll see them. Sometimes not quite as strong, but sometimes if you're lucky, they can be really, 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 really strong. It's very fascinating to see, yeah. Okay, so if anything happens now, we'll continue to Keflavik. Let me just check the Keflavik weather real quickly. Just make sure that we still have a valid destination weather. But let's go here. And let's go arrival. Oh, wow. They have ATIS. How cool is that? So, time 19000, runway 01 in use, okay, transfer 675, wind 360 degrees, 19 knots, 19 knots, 10 kilometers or more, clouds few, tower kilometers 2,500, scattered 7,000 feet, temperature +10, dew point +3, QNH 1017. So very good weather, all good. Definitely we continue now. What's the procedure in case of GPS primary loss? Well, Emre, ask yourself the question, where is GPS required? So normally what you have is a required
Tango, push
accuracy.
Through
So depending on the airspace that you're in, you know, arrival routing, departure, en route, Europe, US, the Atlantic, you will have different requirements for the accuracy. Now that accuracy does not require GPS updating necessarily. However, obviously, if it's on DME updating, it may be less accurate, so that estimated accuracy may increase. So the only time really you're required to have GPS is in approaches or departures maybe sometimes, but for mainly in the approaches where it says GPS required. And I'll give you an example because obviously that is something a region where GPS jamming happens more frequently. So when you land in Tel Aviv,
speed at 80 kilo Alpha, roger, surface wind 360 degrees 19 knots, runway 01, you're clear for takeoff.
I'll just find that approach. There we go. So it's weird, it doesn't say that here. I'm pretty sure in my Lido charts it says somewhere GPS required. So that one doesn't. Yeah, normally we have that in the text somewhere. Check that. Just use Lido easy, yeah. Yeah. So again, I can only point you to... Oh, there we go. So look at this. So if you fly the Yankee approach, runway 30, it says here, radius to fix and GPS required. So if the GPS has failed, obviously, so you have both sides, GPS primary lost, then you can't fly this approach, for example. You would have to do a alternative approach procedure. Yeah, en route, obviously, as long as your actual is still within the required RMP, you don't need GPS. Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's where it's going. So Toto has programmed GPS jamming, which is quite phenomenal. I guess we may have to try out flying to Tel Aviv, something like that in the Challenger. No, normally no. So normally on the RNF arrivals, you don't necessarily need GPS updating unless it says that in requirements. So RNAV does not necessarily mean GPS, right? So RNAV is just area navigation. Yes, you have to have certain accuracies. In this case, 1 mile, for example. And you check your FMS, make sure that you're within that requirement. If not, you would have to contact ATC and look for alternative means like radar vectors or a standard approach, right? So you switch back to VOR or NDB navigation.
Walker 1931, roger.
If you look at the,
at your discretion,
chart here,
you can line
look what it says
up
there.
Runway 30.
It says RNAV 1 required.
No
it does not
to
say GPS required.
Taxi to runway 30, we will report when ready for departure. Also,
Yep. So there's a difference in that, in those. Yeah. Well, can you name an approach? So Tito, so here it doesn't say anywhere it's GNSS in the star.
Good night.
It's just an RNAV arrival. Hey MSK, take care. Wow, that sun, look how
Seabird 80 Kilo Alpha, report your passing level.
So cool. There we are. So look at that, so cool. So maybe Tito, you have an example where it has a star, where it actually says. Let me find. Let me see Salzburg if there's anything in there.
Seabird 80 Kilo Alpha, report your passing level.
Oh, it is starting. Oh, hang on. Okay, that's interesting. Right, let me just check.
Seabird 80 Kilo Alpha, read back correct.
Then let me check here. For the requirements in Keflavik. So Azrun 3 November. There we go. So start. There we go. So. Yeah, that's what you're referring to, right? ANAV 1 GNSS.
I said 28 Tango, taxi to Hong Point runway
Yeah,
01
so
via November 14, November Echo, cross runway 28.
yeah, so I would see the same here. So that here says GNSS. So I would assume, yeah, that was that would need GNSS requirement or an updating with GPS. Yeah. Yeah, loss of RNAV 1 capability loss, advise ATC. The weird thing is, let me just check my real world. Because I don't use Jeppesen in real life, so for us in Lido, it's worded. So it would say RNAV 1 GNSS updating or GPS updating required. What do you mean? If you lose the GPS signal? Okay, let me show you then. So let's go maintenance.
Windmill 584 is back, thank you.
Oh no, hang on.
Windmill 584, roger.
Let's go. Where again is it?
Break of extensor, good evening. Airline 481 is with you.
Manual failures. Right, let's see.
Airline 481,
Navigation.
control, good day, squawk 2776.
Squawk 2776, Airline 481.
If not, we'll just pull the CB. Come on. What? I can't get any lower than that. Right. Then let me show. I'll have a look at the.
Airline 481. Your identified radar control
Let's look for
service
the GPS
report
2
when
here.
you're ready to receive information on Vega.
So
Yep, we're ready to receive information. Airline 481.
Airline 481, latest METAR report for Vega at 2419 at 20 Zulu, surface wind 350 degrees at 7 knots, visibility 10 kilometers or more, overcast at 2,900 feet, temperature 13, dew point 10, QNH 1003. Runway 30 is preferred. You're happy to accept 30?
Thank you for the information, and yes, we're happy to accept runway 30, Airline 481.
Airline 481, roger. Just advise me what approach you would like to take.
Nav, there we go. So we get closer.
We'd like to come in direct off the transition Victor Golf 904. Sorry, apologies, Victor Golf 908.
Airline 481, roger.
If you see GPS somewhere, let me know. Can't find it.
Airline 481, requesting descent.
Airline 481, descent flight level 100.
Descent to flight level 100, Airline 481.
So let me find my real-world charts. Yeah, navigation I saw, but I didn't find GPS in there. I mean, I can deselect GPS, but I'd rather fail it through a CB or something. Star, as on 3 November.
Walker 1931 is lined up, runway 30.
Yeah. So, let me show you.
Walker 1931, roger, latest wind.
If you take the
350 degrees at 7, runway 30.
if you take the Lido chart, so for that arrival, no, I can't show you that, guys, on screen. So it says RNAV 1, and another box that says GNSS required. So here, Lido is a lot more accurate or clearer, but then you can say that in the Jefferson charts, if it says RNAV 1 in brackets GNSS, then yeah, then you need GPS updating, correct. Right, I don't see the GPS in here, up here. Let's check it up here as well. Oh. No, so there's no circuit breakers. So let me do the following. Communications, no.
Speedbird 80 Kilo Alpha, roger. You can continue climb flight level 370, report back.
CDU, computer, radios, ADF, ILS, come on, GPS, come on. Localizer failure. Yeah, there we go, GPS, I found it. Yay. So we're going to fail GPS 2. So if you go to data, GPS monitor, there we go. So now we lost the, it says nav GPS 2 fault. And you can see that data is gone.
1931, many thanks for that.
So if I reactivate it,
confirm you're squawking Charlie.
You will get hopefully some, after the time delay, you should get data again for GPS 2.
That'd be great.
How about now? Walker 1931.
Walker 1931, many thanks for that. Your identified radar control service continued flight level 290 for now.
Flight level 290, Walker 1931.
Come on.
I said 28 Tango, roger, surface wind 360 degrees at 19 knots, runway 01 clear for takeoff.
There we go. So that's what I expect to see in real aircraft as well. So it's slightly delayed until it picks up all the necessary satellites to determine the position again. So yeah, exactly. So any failure like this, for example, you'll see the data go missing. You get a warning. Yeah, so I know in the FS labs, if you fail the GPS there and or deselect and reselect, it really goes very quickly. Let me do it also, not just failure. Let me just do it via deselection. See how quickly it comes back again. So here I'm going to go to data, position monitor. Here, and the selected nav aids, you can actually deselect GPS completely. So both sides, just with one button. So cool. So when we descend into Keflavik, we should see the sun setting again as we descend down. Absolutely cool. Right, there we go. So we've got both GPS now indicating again. So let's completely deselect GPS here. So GPS primary lost on both sides now. Also on the nav display, you see that message. Sapphire, because if you get radio jamming, so GPS jamming, it may not completely kill the signals. It may actually distort them. So you could get a wrong updating. It has happened. So I remember there's an aircraft, there was one report flying at nighttime to Beirut. They had an issue with GPS jamming, or GPS actually getting wrong signals, and it put the aircraft, it did a position update, and it put the aircraft into mountainous terrain. And since it has an enhanced GPWS system where it takes a database and checks the position of the aircraft, and actually brought out a pull-up warning that way. So it wasn't the reactive GPWS, it was the predictive one. But the predictive we have to follow at nighttime. So only VMC daylight we can ignore the pull-up warning to a certain extent, where we can definitely see at least cautions only.
Right,
so only the cautions, but the warnings, any hard warning, you have to do a pull-up maneuver. So you're doing a pull-up maneuver with full stick back, Toga power, because you have a position updating error, not because you're actually flying into the terrain. So that's why if you get suddenly issues with the GPS, we actually deselect the GPS, meaning the GPS may still be displaying data in the MCU. That data is not used anymore for updating.
Radar services are
so if you go now to position monitor, data, you go to... Oh, it's a different menu here. Hang on. So data, position monitor, there we go. Yeah, so now the thing is, we don't even receive DMEs because we're so far out from land. We don't have any DME info. So actually, right now, the only update, there's no updating of that position. It's just doing a triple mix IRS position updating or position calculation. So I would expect now the accuracy to actually deteriorate fairly rapidly. Look at that, it does. So we're now already reaching 1 mile estimated accuracy. See how quickly that deteriorates? And again, we don't have any GPS updating and no DME updating at the moment. But yeah, but we do manually deselect the GPS if we get issues with GPS, meaning it's still receiving data, but that data may be wrong. That's why we do it. Right, so data, position monitor, selected nav aids, and we'll go and select the GPS. So GPS primary again. I'm not sure if that accuracy goes down that quickly in the real aircraft. But yeah, there we go. So all normal ops again. I don't know. I've not been to Beirut for a long time. I don't know if that was... Oh! I forgot. I bought that cat area add-on, where it simulates the cat areas here in Microsoft Flight Sim. Completely forgot to install that though.
Walker 1931, continue climb flight level 390.
Climb to 390, Walker 1931.
Well, we don't have a cat area today. We only have an icing area showing here. No cat area? Are you serious? Can't believe that. Adrian, was it that bad? Come on. But you can imagine now, you've taken off at an airport where it was pretty much dark. You're doing a night flight to Keflavik and back, but you literally have all night, you have bright daylight, or at least like these kind of conditions. So yeah, it does mess up your internal clock. That is correct. Right, we're reaching... Oh, we got to do some preparations. We're reaching... yeah, I've got a bit of extra now. 1 ton. So let's do... Yeah, I think it's Kidman behind me there. Look at that, chasing me. So let's do preparations. We're below max landing weight, 64.5 tons. That's fine. So let's do the landing calculation. Although let me just update the weather one more time. So currently, information Charlie, 360 degrees, 16 knots. Going to be pretty headwind. Town cumulus, 2,500, all fine. So that's not too bad. Kinich 1017, report aircraft type and Mach number on first contact with Keflavik. Nice. Wow, we actually have... Let's see. I'm not sure. Well, we got the ATIS though. Okay, I'm not sure about the control, but we'll see. So, let's go and do the landing performance.
Windmill 711, you're cleared on the Azrin. Let me get it up. Azrin 3 November arrival, landing runway 01. When you're ready, descend flight level 100.
Thank you very much. When ready, descent level 100, and we cleared the Azrin 3 November, runway 01 in Keflavik, windmill 711. So 100.
Windmill 711, correct. You can redirect Azrin if you want.
Fantastic. We'll do so direct to Azrin, windmill 711. So beam point selected, direct to Azrin. Fantastic. Cool. Let's do the calculations. Refresh the METAR. Apply the METAR. 360 at 1610 degrees, 1017. The landing weight is approximately 63.5. 63.5. We'll do, well, low auto brake. Actually, can we do... No, so low. Manual landing flaps. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, though. Today we'll do a flap 3 landing. Reason being is we have headwind, and we usually roll out right to the end, just like in the video. Auto thrust off. Idle or no reverse. No failures. Runway 01. And the braking action will be at least good. So that way will require about 2,200 factored, would be 2,500, and we have 3,000 meters available. So plenty of room there. And we'll prepare the chart. So we cleared for the Azrin 3 November arrival. Cleared direct to Azrin at the moment as we speak. So we're going to check Timlo 100 and above. Kilo Fox 113, 120 below, Kilo Fox 379, 7,000 below, and max 230 at Dexon, 3.5 or above. So that's what we will check here. Right, so that's one thing though, we have to be careful. So I just saw the message that constant Mach was deleted because we went down to Azrin. So now I've selected the speed because we still need to maintain that. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to put 360. I'm just going to put a little bit. 16. I will put the wind.
Windmill 584, you're cleared.
Temperature
is on the Azrin 3 November arrival, landing runway 01. When ready, descend flight level 100.
Is there a way to dim the cabin lights? Yes, David, yeah. You've got 2 switches. So you've got a floodlight, a dome light here. Here's the dome light. So bright, dim, and off. But if you talk about the lighting here,
airline 481, many thanks. Surface wind 350 degrees at 7, runway 30 is free.
You can increase and decrease the brightness there. So these 2 options you have. My I keep hitting these buttons, sorry. Right, so yeah, there we go. I'm going to start my descent here. Let's do descend, alt, blue, set manage speed disregard for now, and got level 100, alt blue. Thank you for all the questions. What is the procedure case of GPS prime? Oh, hang on, that was another question there. So Diego, hey, you're 28. Is it too risky to ask for a loan to become a pilot? The future is promising. Diego, you know, Diego, it really comes down to the contracts that you sign up for. So let's say you sign up with a flight school. It would be preferable, obviously, if you have in that contract already stated that you'll be employed by a certain company after you finish your training. Anything else at the moment obviously does still pose a certain risk, right? So, again, tough question to answer. You know, going full out, let's say 100,000 euros or equivalent without a prospect of having a short contract afterwards is risky, because you don't know how the economy will look in 2 years' time. So even though it may look promising right now, you know, 2 years, 2.5 years is a long time for that. Passenger cabin, I think. Isn't there something in here for the cabin? Cabin. There we go. So you can switch the cabin lights off that way. Cabin, so settings, sim settings, cabin. And then you can switch it off. Yeah, so here in Europe, Diego, I've seen some offers now for, was it 100,000, 120,000, but in a short contract with a number of airlines, and if you don't get on board of these airlines, then your payback is kind of frozen until you get an employment. So, you know, these kind of models give you a certain amount of assurance or insurance. Anything else, obviously, is very risky. Very risky at the moment. Personally, if things develop in a very positive manner, i.e. economy picks up again on steam and, you know, the war in Ukraine is resolved or whatever, so, you know, all in all, a bit of brighter future, then, of course, yeah, there will be a very high demand for pilots. No doubt. Have a good landing, Danny. Aviator specs should be below the streaming window here, under the. Let me just see. Yeah, that should be there somewhere. So I 12,900K GTX 2080 Ti, 32 gigabyte memory. Although, hang on, I did have a command, didn't I, moderators? You got it? Okay, cool. Good. So we've got the charts out. We've got the performance calculation done. We're setting up everything for the approach. So we want obviously a minimum for the Cat 1. So go to the chart, ILS, German keyboard. Yeah, I know the problem. So we want a minimum of. We want a minimum of ILS 340. So 340 feet. Set. Good. 340 set.
I said 28 Tango.
Ratnav.
You can climb flight level
Keflavik.
390.
There's no beacons, so just Kilo Foxtrot Victor. Put that in there. And there we go. Good.
Airline 481 has now cleared the runway.
So remember the flows, guys. There's
Airline
nothing
481,
to
many
do
thanks for that.
until we
Welcome to
hit
Vagar Taxi at your discretion, standard choice.
the flows in our descent.
Standard choice, airline 481.
So once we hit 10,000 above the ground, we have pilot flying, EFIS constrained, LS push button as required. For the ILS approach it will be on. Nav aids, nav accuracy as required, so we check again if we have the necessary requirements. So today it will be GPS updating available, accuracy better than 1 mile. The pilot monitoring does the landing lights, seat belts, latest seat belts obviously, normally they'll be switched on 15 minutes before landing. So EFIS options push button constraint as well, LS push button as required, and engine mode selector check. So if it's heavy rain or something, you may want to put that to ignition, but otherwise just leave it in normal. And then once you get below transition level, you will do the checklist. So the approach checklist then. But yeah, still a bit to go. Hey, Super Grumpy. Super Grumpy because the only time we enter a decision height, so where we reference our minimum to the radial altimeter, is when we do Cat 2 or Cat 3 approaches. So as long as we do non-precision or Cat 1 approaches, it's always Barrow for us. Maybe there's an airline or private company that does it differently. For us, it's always Barrow. Yeah, Gromby, we may do it on Sunday. Yeah. But Sunday then we may fly into Tel Aviv. Because maybe there, I guess, we have a higher chance of actually getting a jamming. And Wimble 711, we're just about to Azrun now, below level 250. What speed would you like?
Windmill 711, yeah, I was just looking at that. What's your indicated airspeed at the moment?
Currently 310 knots, Windmill 711.
Windmill 711, roger, maintain 280 knots or greater. Let me know if you're unable.
Okay, yes we are able, so 280 or more. Windmill 711. Owen, it's so the checklist you can find on our oneengineout.com
584
or on my Discord channel in the announcement.
Reduce speed to 250 knots or less.
So on my Discord you can get the checklist and the procedure flows. So those you can get on Discord. I think on the One Engine Out you can only get the checklists. Yeah, pleasure. Good. So, briefing. Same concept. Remember that we have a new concept saying the pilot monitoring actually does start the arrival briefing. So, here he or she will brief so the arrival, Azrun 3 November, transition via the Dexon fix. We'll do the ILS approach Zulu 01. The approach minimum is 340 feet. The go around goes as follows. We continue simply straight ahead 140 degrees to 3000 and expect radar vectors. Currently extra fuel is about a ton, so we have half an hour extra, which would be enough for a second approach into Keflavik. Then the pilot flying would say, alright, so I am going to use Cat 1 guidance, so flight director guidance for the approach. We've got landing flap setting. Actually, I did say 3, didn't I? So landing config 3 selected, and up here we'll do flat landing 3. So config 3 landing, we'll use idle reverse, auto brake,
Speedbird 80
initially low,
contact
depending on the exit.
Shanwick on
The planned
131.9.
runway exit is, unless the tower says something else, either Alpha 1 or Kilo 1, or right at the end of November. So Kilo, November, or Alpha, depending on how quickly we have to vacate the runway. Hotspots are hotspot 2 and hotspot 1. Hotspot 2, I would assume, has to do with the crossing runways, and here obviously aircraft maybe lining up for 19 or aircraft leaving the runway 19. So these are the hotspots. Special operations, no, all normal operations today. Threats, guys, what are threats today?
EV6941, you're cleared on the Aswan 3 November arrival, landing runway 01. When ready, descend to flight level 100.
Cleared for the Aswan 3 November arrival, runway 01, and when ready, descend level 100, EV6941.
I'm just going to check the limitations here. So 100 above, correct. Then we've got 120 below, correct. 7,000 below. Correct. And Dexon 3,500 above with 230 knots. All right, so all the restrictions are in. Fantastic. Icing, birds, ash. Yes, ash. Volcanic ash, Brennald, is something we would definitely have to consider maybe sometimes. So we would just simply talk about the avoidance maneuver, right? 180-degree turn, descend, get the power of the engines towards idle, wing anti-ice, engine bleed, or engine anti-ice on, get the checklist out, leave that area as quickly as possible. Yeah. Yeah, we may have some visibility issues regarding the sun in our eyes.
Windmill 711, free speed.
Thank you much. Free speed, windmill 711. Yeah, but isn't it weird, right? That's what I'm talking about. It's so weird. It's like, you know, almost 2 in the morning here in the sim, German time, or UK time. It's 20 past midnight. And here we got the sun in our eyes. Yeah, okay, so yeah, higher pitch, correct. Less tail strike clearance, so you have to be a bit more careful regarding bounced landing recovery. Make sure that we don't go above 10-degree pitch until we've clearly lifted off and gained some altitude. Yeah, sure, these kind of things, yeah. Brennald, personally, I don't really do that very often. I don't fly more than 250 below level 100 unless ATC asks me to do so. The reason being is that I've had bird strikes up to 7,000 feet. And so hitting a bird on the windshield at 310 knots, right, that force goes up exponentially with the increase of speed. And so I would go with 250 knots below 10,000 feet. Now the free speed normally, free speed normally would not free you of flying faster than 250 below level 100. That's my understanding. So if you are allowed to fly faster,
711, continue descent altitude 3,500 feet, QNH 1017.
Descend 3,500 feet, QNH 1017, windmill 711. So that was. Yeah, so he would need to, or they would need to say, he or she would need to say, high speed below level 100 approved. Specifically.
Charles 6, Papa, good day, Squawk 4133, report your Mach number.
So here we go. Minus speed, thrust idle. So we got the 120 below. Here we got 7,000 below. Now we've got to monitor that restriction. Yeah, there we go. I thought so. Speed brakes out. Yeah, the thing is, the thing with the 747 after takeoff is that it has a minimum clean speed of around about 270 to 275 knots. And there you may hear the pilots ask ATC if it's okay to fly 270. Right, just so that they can get the flaps and slats in. Yeah, you'll hear that. But normally, if ATC doesn't approve that,
6 Papa, Roger.
then you're going to have to fly with flaps out until you are above level 100. That's just the way it is. Okay. Set QNH. Speed brakes back in. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's a trim. I keep hitting the trim switch, or the trim wheel on my Bravo throttle. That's why it kicks out the autopilot.
Child 6 Papa, many thanks. Your identified radar control service advisor and ready to
set
copy
QNH.
oceanic clearance.
So the correct wording would be QNH 1017 cross-checked, passing 8,600 or 8,560 feet now, checked.
Windmill 711 via Dexon, you're cleared for the ILS Zulu approach runway 01, report fully established.
Windmill 711 via Dexon, cleared the ILS Zulu 01, I call you full established, Windmill 711. Yeah, so
Windmill 584, continue descent to
so we're cleared exactly according to the books.
QNH 1017.
So exactly as it's being shown here on the charts. So via Dexon 3.5, max 230 knots, and then we continue
Walker 19334
to Kilo Fox 1, Kilo Fox India 01.
Polaris control 125.5. Have a good
And
flight.
as we pass Dexon, we'll descend 2,500 feet. And then passing Kilo Fox India 01, we'll descend 1,800 for the approach.
Charles 6 Papa, you're cleared to Keflavik.
Beautiful.
Oceanic routing, Mike Yankee, Larux.
Here comes the
Rusty,
the island.
Indigo, Mikla, Nasbu. Flight level 340, Mach 0.78.
So I'm going to do this now with open descend here. Thrust idle open descend. How many miles do we have? We've got 24 miles to go. Yeah, that's fine. So below 7,000 as required. Here comes 3.5 or above, 230 knots. Nice, Danny. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. Here comes that as well. Right, good. We're good for checklist. So we're going to read the approach checklist. Barrow Ref, QNH 1017, seatbelts on, minimum 340 feet, or Barrow 340 feet, auto brake low, and engine mode selector normal. Approach checklist completed. Oh, nice! You made a time lapse.
584 free speed.
Beautiful. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? With the sun there. Wow. That's incredible. Lovely. There we are, approaching Dexon. So we're just checking again. GPS primary high. Accuracy is good. Fantastic. Good there as well. LS key selected. India Kilo November is identified for the ILS. 014 inbound. Actually, it says 012. That's interesting. Alright, so the database is a bit off here in the sim. There's a 013. How weird. Outstar, but we're passing that waypoint, so we can actually descend further. And I'm going to now activate the approach phase. Here comes 2,500 vertical speed. Out blue, 2,500. And we'll do flaps 1. Speed is checked. Flaps 1. There's the runway. Yeah, Danny, I talked about that the last time we went to, was it Shetland Island with Brenold in the Kodiak? He was flying ahead of me. He and his sim had a rainbow, and I had exactly the same. So that is really, really cool that you know, people flying on the same network with the same weather conditions, they will actually have the same weather simulation. Really, really cool. Good, we're going to press approach. So glide slope blue, lock blue, cat 3 dual, or plus 1+2. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, you see that landscape? Just like in the real world video that showed you guys. That's how it looks. Oh yeah.
Windmill 584, descent of 3,500 feet via Dexon. You're clear for the ILS Zulu approach runway 01.
That is so nice. Right, we're passing Kilo Fox India 01. We'll descend 1,800 now.
2,500.
Is checked, so that's already pretty low. Lock star. Flaps 2. Speed is checked. Flaps 2. And there's the runway aligning. So I'm going to intercept the glide slope as we descend towards Zouville here. Wow. That is incredible. I'm not going to slow down to S speed just yet. Let me just put 155 here.
All stations, Keflavik, new information Delta is current, new QNH 1018, information Delta 1018 for Keflavik, broadcast out.
Windmill 711 is fully established, ILS 01, QNH 1018 is copied. Flaps 3, speed is checked. Flaps 3.
Windmill 711, many thanks, surface wind is 360 degrees at 18 knots, runway 01, you are cleared to land.
Runway 01 cleared land, windmill 711, thank you. So, we've got a missed approach, 3,000 feet. What's happening now? Bing. Flight control is okay, disregard.
Easy 6941, descend to flight level 80.
That should clear itself out in a minute. Calibrating null zones. That is something flight sim related, I don't know why that happens. Left side stick for GG's. So we're saying, was it 3,000? 3,000. Yeah, so 014, 3,000. All done. All the lights on for the flows. And the landing checklist. EK Memo landing, no blue. Landing checklist completed, cleared the land. Yeah, Paul, I think they've already got it covered. Manual thrust, manual flight. Let's concentrate now on the landing. Slightly low. Let's correct that. So right now the wind is a bit more from the right. It should shift a little bit more. To the front.
1,000.
1,000 is checked. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. How cool is that? Yeah, it is. It is pretty barren here at the land. Hey Max, how you doing?
$500.
Yeah, see the wind is shifting now, so we've got wind 00 now, 16 knots.
100 above.
So he's established, that's equipment
Windmill
behind us.
584, roger, continue approach.
Minimum
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Come on, 8 feet, come on.
5.
There we go, need to let it settle down, there we go. So spoilers. Reverse green decel. Manual brakes, reverse are closed. So just let the aircraft roll down a bit more. 161, oh look at that sunset.
Windmill 711, welcome to Keflavik, vacate left when able.
Okay, vacate left when able, windmill 711. So let's see. There should be taxiway, I think that's Kilo now, to the left.
Easy 6941, continue descent to 3,500 feet.
Continue descent to 3,500 feet.
QNH 1018.
Oh, right, you guys. Right, careful. Bit wet here, so careful with the turn off. Right, flaps retracting, spoilers disarmed. Windmill 711 runway is vacated now.
Windmill 711, welcome to Iceland. Taxi to right onto Echo, left November, and right November 13, stand number 4.
Echo November 13, and stand 14, Windmill 711. Thank you so much.
To confirm stand 4.
Oh, stand 4, even better. Thanks a lot.
No worries.
Right,
Windmill
so
584, surface wind 360
we'll do the
degrees,
after landing
18 knots,
flows.
runway 01 clear to land.
But we want to see the landing from
EG
Kitman.
6941 via Dexon, you're cleared for the ILS Zulu, approach runway 01.
Via Dexon, cleared for the ILS Zulu, approach runway 01, EG 6941.
Yeah, and I think it's Vusa, isn't it, as well? I'm not 100% sure. So let me just go a bit slower. No. There he is. I am trying. I'm trying to get to the line. Crying out loud. You guys are so strict. Just gonna stop here real quickly. Let's see if I can quickly go zoom in. Here comes Kitman. I always love it when he flies along. I'm moving. There, beautiful touchdown. Lovely, another greaser. GG, Kitman. Love it. Cool. Right, let's continue. So radar after landing checklist, that's something I have to get used to. That's something I've never done before. And there's only one item on that checklist, and that is radar predictor wind shear system. And that should be off. TCAS can go off as well. There we go. So, November 14, gate 4. Oh my. Oh no. There we go. 14. And right turn. Oh, it's... Right, don't tell anyone. I tell you what. I want to... Actually, let me just disconnect here real quickly. I do want to go on position 5. The one I've been to in the video. Let me just do that. So, here we go. Yeah, should be an S curve to the apron. It is fantastic. APUs available. Fantastic. Yeah, so here we're parked right at that terminal there, position 5, I think it is. If I remember correctly. It is number 5. Speedy Gonzalez. I'm pretty sure there's no way to activate those. Let me just stop here real quickly. APU bleed goes on. There it is. And 2, 1. And now this is another big changer for me. So here, actually, I have to switch off the beacon and the seatbelts now. That has changed completely. Here comes the jetway, fantastic. All right, let me just reconnect again. And then... Oh, here is short landing. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to catch real quickly. So one more friend coming in to land. What happened? Where's he gone? Oh, there he is. Yeah, don't tell me he switched off the landing lights there. What on earth happened? Yeah, the wind sounds, right? Nice. Lovely. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, yes. Hey, Ryan. Hey, welcome. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the interview. I did too. That was really, really fantastic. What is that?
Good night, Black Box.
Excuse me. Huh? Fly Lilo, good night to you. Right, there's a slight accident with the jetway. GG's. Oh boy. Right, so parking. Parking brake or chocks. Parking brake is set. Engines off. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the next step here. So it says
Good night,
wing
box.
lights off. So wing lights are here, and if you switch them on and go into the outside view, you will see these lights come on the side. The reason why that is in the checklist now is, believe it or not, on an A321, that light actually caused a fire to the jetway as was docked to the door to left. And that light is so hot, it actually ignited the jetway.
Autopilot.
So
Autopilot.
that's why it's now in the checklist.
Number 4 via Echo and November.
So wing light off.
13.
And fuel pumps
Stand for Echo November, November 1 3, ET69 for 1.
off as well.
For ATC, celebrate FENIX.
On. Cool. Right, that's the parking checklist completed. Fantastic. Brenold! Thank you so much for another €5 donation. There's an important information. For those who want to fly along with us in Norway, they manage to need an add-on for Echo November Delta India. It's free from flightsim.to. Fantastic. Thank you much, Brenold, once again for the €5 and for the tip. And I will activate all those add-ons today for sure. Right, little break, guys. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes for the Norway tour. With the Kodiak. Anybody wants to join, feel free. We'll be on the European West server. Happy to see anyone fly along. Yeah, same from Windmill711. Thanks for the service. Absolutely amazing. Take care.
Thank you very much. You too. See you soon.
Right. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, there we go. That goes off. Cool. Lovely. Look at that airport. Midnight, right? So this is what it looks like at the moment at, what time is it now? At 23:46 UTC here in Keflavik. Incredible. Alrighty. See you soon. Big thank you again to Brenold for the donations. Thank you to Agent B also for her donation. Lewis, thank you so much for your donation. Magnus, as well to you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the amazing support. And yeah, see you again soon. Good night.